All right, we're in round 2. We're playing first, and we're keeping. Nice hand. We've got removal. We've got early blocks. We have mid-game value. Really can't ask for much more of an optimal hand. All right. All right. Playing around a counterspell, perhaps? Either way, we're going to play the Explorer here. Okay. Grappling back a convicted killer, I presume. Oh, no, needed the mountain. Well, I guess that makes sense if you've played 3 forests. So it looks like we're up against the werewolf deck. All right, Blyden Pack Outcast, quite the powerful card. So let's see here. Borrowed Malevolence actually does a reasonable job of playing around combat tricks. Not so much, because let's say he pumps it once and makes it a 5/3 trample. Well, he'd need extra red mana to give it, like Borrowed Hostility or something. We can press for answers now, and maybe that's just in our best interest while we come up with a good solution here. We can crack the clue first, too. Or we can leave up Fortune's Favor and Borrowed Malevolence. I kind of like that. It's a lot of card advantage. All right, let's do that. So we'll pass the turn. I mean, I want to kill that Outcast. Even if it comes at the cost of one of my guys and a Borrowed Malevolence, I really need to ensure I'm getting it off the table. I'm trying to think of all the combat tricks. He did have the extra mountain there, so that means he drew the red mana. Oh, okay, he's tapping out for the Observer, sure. Okay, well, let's Fortune's Favor then. Unfortunately, we don't really have hard removal for these big fatties. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to deal with them in the long game. But presumably Gargoyle will flip at some point, right? 3 lands and another card. Well, let's see. The lands let me flip the Gargoyle and eventually play Duskfeaster, which is quite good. But I think we're going to take the other card because we're going to stay busy anyway. Okay, Macabre Waltz. No dead creatures yet, though. So let's tap the Observer. And we can still leave up Borrowed Malevolence and crack a clue, or we can play the Geist of the Archives now. The problem with playing the Geist is he's going to be extremely tempted, rightfully so, to play or attack with his Outcast, but I kind of feel as though the Archives is pretty valuable to us right now. We're basically topping anything, though, right? I can't think of a lot of things I wouldn't top. I guess, I don't know, actually. Ah, Blood Mist. That's going to be a tough card to beat. Oh, he forgot to attack there. Whoopsie. Oh. Opponent is wisely named. Beyond Tilt. You just put a swear word and then press a bunch of buttons. Twins of Mauer Estate. Well, let's see. Huh. Well, it could actually be pretty useful here. Say I play it, and he gives this double strike again and attacks. He can pump it twice. And then, or let's say he flips it. So he first strike kills this. Well, then I can't kill it. What can I do, though? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I don't have any way to deal with this. I guess we're digging for mutation. That seems like it doesn't do enough, but might be all we can really hope for. Alright, boon. I wish did more. I mean, we can boon the captive. I guess if we're going to do that, let's crack our clue first. Alright, let's boon the captive and we'll leave up the malevolence. Basically, booning the captive potentially keeps him off outcast flip. And might still give us the opportunity to borrow malevolence, but maybe not. So I guess we want the Just the Wind in a match like this. That's actually kind of curious. Huh. So he has the 7 mana to flip the Outcast, which means if I had enough open mana, I could probably do something about it, but... Huh. Yeah, we're in some trouble. Well, I guess we can eat the Howlpack Wolf at the cost of both my Borrowed Malevolence and my Drownyard Explorer. It seems pretty bad. We can double block the Outcast, then he flips. That's very bad. And I can chump the Observer, which is also bad. So every option is pretty bad at the moment. I'm trying to think what the optimal play for me is, because I guess I'm not dead, but I could just take just an absurd amount of damage. I could just take an absurd amount of damage. Does that do any good for me later? Like, I can flip the Gargoyle now. That's not going to do me any good, though, especially if I can't leave up Borrowed Malevolence. So it might just make sense to... It's all bad, isn't it? I don't have any way to deal with Outcasts. That's the problem. I'm playing a blue-black deck that can't deal with a creature, which is quite the problem to have. Yeah, this almost seems like a lost cause now. I guess Mutation, but like I said, Mutation's not going to do anything to this once it flips. He just is going to be able to pump right past it. So I don't have a good block. Doesn't seem like a winnable game. What does that mean? Do I 2-for-1 myself and kill the Howlpack Wolf and take 11? That seems really bad. Maybe I just take a ridiculous amount of damage this turn and accept that this game's a lost cause. I mean, it could be. Like I said, the Gargoyle at this point's pretty worthless. I can't really afford to take 6, 11, 17 damage either. That's just an absurd amount of damage. Yeah, this is all bad. Everything's bad. I'm trying to think the least bad. What is the least bad? Borrowed Malevolence Explorer for the Double Striker? I wish this wasn't so difficult. 2-for-1 myself and chump. And only take 5 if he flips. And then I can Macabre Waltz and replay him. I can also play Dusk Feaster next turn. Doesn't do me a wealth of good, though. Maybe the best play is just chump the 6 and take, what, 5 plus 6, 11? That's only mostly bad. Alright, let's take 11. I just feel like I'm never going to be able to invest in Gargoyle, because I have to basically play this Feaster and try and leave up Borrowed Malevolence. Alright, so he's decided to not even flip, which means he's probably got another follow-up play, making this even more unlikely. Well, I guess I'm happy I didn't try and trade or whatever. At least we're not dead. Okay. So I guess land's not going to do anything. What else we got? Geistfield Scarecrow. So I can play Dusk Feaster for 5, or I can play Scarecrow for 4. Either way, I can't leave up Bard Malevolence for full value. So I guess getting a 4/5 is better. I think we're just dead, though, but that's alright. So I'm basically accepting that this game is lost, because with Double Strike Trample, I'm already dead. So how can I win this match? I'm trying to think of my deck does not seem particularly well suited to beat this, because I don't have any hard removal. I guess I have to bring in the Just the Wind. I can do the Explosive Apparatus. It's not great, though. Well, it's okay. I can deal with Convicted Killer and Captive. That might just be enough incentive to do it. I think we're just dead, right? Double Strike Trample, take a bunch here, do this, take a bajillion. I gotta be dead. There's no way I could live through this. So what am I gonna do? I have to come up with a good game plan here. Oh. Opponent decided not to kill us, I see. I guess if he's ahead on the clock. Alright, we'll just concede. Okay. I mean, I could draw, but there's no coming back from this game. What would I draw? Another land. Alright. Okay. So what's my plan? Just the Wind I probably need for his flip dudes. Convolute, I guess, because he's got the big time 6-drop. Okay, that's an actual way to deal with his 5 and 6-drop. So I guess we bring these both in. That's a realistic plan to at least deal with the fatties. Let's ditch the Macabre Bolts. I guess even though it's fine, it's just not good enough against this match. It's just not an optimal card. Even Bard Malevolence seems pretty bad, actually. I might still want it, but it doesn't seem like a great card here. Like, chances aren't high that he has X1s. And if he doesn't have X1s, profitably playing a defensive Bard Malevolence against werewolves that are going to be flipping just seems so difficult. So I might just want to cut the Malevolence. Because I still like Mutation. That's going to be good in the mid to late on anything, really. Even his trample guys, it'll do something. It'll at least force him to use his mana. So I guess this is where we're at. Let's try this. Apparatus was an option too, but I don't know. Okay, we'll play first. Yeah, this hand's actually fine. So he can get back his Occultist, which will just kill. At least he lost his Howlpack Resurgence. It's a pretty powerful card for a red-green werewolf deck. I guess we can also just attack here now. Before we play the boon. Alright, now we'll boon. Alright, Innkeeper. Alright. So I think we're just going to play the Scrutiny. Because it feeds our mutation, and we're going to be able to play Twins next turn. It prevents damage. Maybe it's not good enough. All right, let's take it. The thing is, I don't really need to draw a card if I'm going to play Twins next turn anyway. It might be more valuable to us the turn after that. All right. So let's play our land. Let's play the Twins. Let's leave up the mutation. Okay. So we can block with the... We could double block, and if he has a combat trick, and we mutation, it goes to 3, which means 5 if it's a +2. Bit of a dilemma. But if I draw a land, I can play the Dusk Feaster. This is a bit difficult. I can double block and mutation. The problem is, if it's like Uncaged Fury, we lose them both. But then at least it might be worth it to go for it here. We have enchantment, creature. I think that we're going to double block. Mutation could do something here. If it doesn't, we're still okay. I mean, he didn't attack with the Innkeeper, which tells me he didn't want to have to play a thing here. I see. Okay, so it kills that. And then we can mutation, but it's still going to die. Unfortunately, it's so close to not dying. That's the sad part, I should say, but it does die. Okay. Didn't play around the Savage Alliance, so I guess we can play the Supplicant now. I wish the Supplicant did more. It also does not. But we'll be able to Scrutiny now, which I guess I wish I had just done earlier now. But hindsight's 20/20. So we'll just Scrutiny so that we can play our Feaster guaranteed. All right, it's going to be a big problem. All right, so we can crack the clue and still play our Dusk Feaster. All right, Drag Under's not bad. Let's play our Dusk Feaster and pass. So probably have to double block the Sage and hope he doesn't have another removal spell or combat trick. Oh, Clip Wings, okay. Two threes have been pretty bad for us overall this match. Okay, yeah. Drag Under. Well, now it's small, so I guess it doesn't matter. Well, no, we definitely don't want to bounce this because he has to draw another card. All right, I guess we drag that under. Aberrant Researcher, which unfortunately is just not going to be able to trade with the Sage. Yeah, so our supplicants overall were pretty weak. Maybe we just needed to... Well, the problem is we wouldn't have been... It's not like the apparatus would have been very good for us there either. Can I afford to take 7 points of damage? I doubt it. I think we gotta do this. So I guess I'm hoping to rip Geist-Fueled Scarecrow. Oh, he had another play too. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, folks. I hope you enjoyed the draft. I'm going to try and post another one tomorrow in the next couple days. Did I already say I have a new job? So that's kind of got my attention early in the morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate the support, all of the comments. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more content very shortly. And I hope you enjoy Jamie, because she's going to be here on a more regular basis. Thanks again, folks. Have a good evening, and we will see you soon.